Hi, my name is Grant Winslow, and I'm here to talk about something with dire urgency. Jeremy Taco Patterson is up for Rookie of the Year.
Okay. I'm Jeremy Taco Patterson. Everybody just knows me, at least in this industry, as Speakerbox Taco. I work as a sales pro here at Speakerbox Car Audio in Huntsville, Alabama, where I am trying my best to learn as much as I can about this awesome industry. Everything I've ever done, I've tried to do or be the best I can at it. I grew up around drag racing. It was my sport when I was a kid. I've always liked stick and ball sports, especially Alabama football. Roll Tide. Drag racing is the sport that I grew up in. Week in and week out. Through the week, I worked for my parents' company, actually selling race car parts. And then on the weekends, we would go to the races. When I was old enough, I started racing. At the age of 23, I won the Huntsville Dragway Track Championship. That was my crowning achievement in the sport. Not long after that, family obligations, life kind of took over, so I had to step away from driving. Really stepped away from the sport as a whole for quite some time. Settled down, had a kid, got married, not in that order. Ended up going to work at my family's other business, a trucking company, where I learned a little bit about logistics and also kind of had my first real customer service voice experience. After the trucking company, I moved on to writing actually about drag racing for dragzine.com. There's hundreds of articles on that website that I've written. I may include some screenshots in here for you to kind of check out. That was one way I was able to kind of get back and be involved in the sport. Around the same time, I picked up a digital camera and started learning photography. As you might imagine, shooting race cars that go 0 to 300 miles an hour in less than 4 seconds is quite a challenge. I did make it to what I consider the pinnacle of drag racing photography, which is shooting NHRA, which is top fuel, funny car, the drag racing that you see on TV. I got to be on the wall capturing photos of the fastest accelerating race cars ever to exist. And that's definitely exciting. I made some great friends in the NHRA, some of whom I still continue those relationships with. I still shoot every now and then, but it's not a full-time thing. I'll go to a race or two a year just to keep in touch with all my contacts there, catch up with everybody. I worked for a company that sort of led to burnout of the whole writing thing. So from there, I decided to just work what most of us would consider normal jobs. I worked with my best friend laying floors. It was fun working with a friend, of course. It was just the two of us on a crew. We did carpet, tile, laminate, that kind of stuff. Had some great laughs, cut up a lot. Didn't pay as much as I needed with kids and everything. I left that job and started driving a delivery route for Advance Auto. I was an independent contractor, but that's who I was contracted with. That job paid pretty well, surprisingly. It was actually not bad, but I had to drive my personal vehicle, and it was really hard. I drove 333 miles a day, 6 days a week. And if you do the math on that, that's a lot of miles on your personal vehicle. So that one, I only stuck with that about a year, maybe a year and a half, and that's how I found Speakerbox. I made a post just asking what else was out there as I was sort of falling out of love with being a delivery driver. I had a couple of people who had worked for or with Grant here at Speakerbox in the past that commented he was looking for somebody. I reached out to him, and here we are today. I kind of told that story in the last video. I'm not going to drag that out. It's been a great fit. I feel like family here. There's 8 of us. When everybody's on the floor, we're all friends. Everybody hangs out. Everybody gets along. That makes each day enjoyable. We work together. We problem solve together. We overcome together, and that makes this very rewarding for me, and I feel like everybody here would agree that it feels like a family. Getting into performance, I mentioned in my first video that I really don't love talking about myself. I'm not the type to brag on any level. So this part's going to be kind of hard. So I'm probably going to have Grant actually talk about my performance if I can get him on camera.
Hi, I'm Grant Winslow, owner of Speakerbox Car Audio in Huntsville, Alabama. I think in the last year or so, Taco has not only excelled with the knowledge that he's gained and the experiences that he's had in this industry, but also just in the overall confidence in what he's able to present to our clients that come in for their needs. In addition to those things, I think one of the biggest contributions that Taco makes to this company is the type of atmosphere and culture that he brings with him. He's a ton of fun to work around. Everybody gets along with him, customers and staff alike. And it's impossible to not like him.
I do know when I first started, of course, I knew nothing about this industry. I know I kind of harped on that in the last video. I've absorbed as much as I can. I know I still have much more to learn. But on the month-to-month numbers, I hold my own with Taylor, who's been doing this for, I believe, 16 years now. We're right around that 50-50 mark each month on a regular basis. So being at that level, now that's just sales numbers, of course. There's other metrics that we can dive into, but that's the number that lets me know I'm holding my own, that I'm an asset, not a liability. That's, at least I want to be to the point where nobody feels they have to pick up my slack. And I believe that to be true. My influences in the 12-volt industry are numerous. If I were to try to name everybody, my battery would go dead on my camera and my phone. I definitely would bore anybody watching this video to death. Just know if I've interacted with you in any way on any social media or at Knowledge Fest or through email, any type of interaction, you've had an influence on my journey, and I appreciate you. I haven't dealt with any kind of gatekeeping, not just in the store, but anywhere in the industry. It's been very welcoming. Everybody is more than willing to share their information, share their knowledge, share their experiences, which are great to learn from. All those influences have helped get me where I am now, and I hope for many years to come. Of course, as I mentioned in my first video, my two main influences here in the store are Taylor Widmer, my sales manager, and Alex Stowe, our store manager. Both of them were our top 20 sales pro this year. Alex is also in the top 5 and in the running for Sales Pro of the Year. I can't even put into words how much they have helped me go from being a guy who sells stuff, which is what I expected this job to be. I expected customers to walk in, "Hello, sir, I need a radio." "Hello, customer, I have a radio. Thank you, have a nice day." And that be the bulk of our transactions. That is not our transactions at all. And I know anybody watching this video knows that. I can't say enough about Taylor. He sits literally right beside me at the counter. He's always there if I have any questions. If I get in a bind with a customer and they ask a question I can't answer, he'll slide right in there. He has no problem stepping in there and helping in a way that doesn't seem like he's overstepping. He's just helping me sort of guide the conversation in a way that it helps me learn and helps the customer trust us, which is a really big deal on both sides of that coin. Taylor's a walking encyclopedia of 12-volt knowledge, but like myself, he's always eager to learn. He's training constantly, researching constantly. Every day, I think we both learn new things about this industry, new products, new techniques, new integration. Holy cow, what a huge deal that is. We really play off of each other very well. We sort of have a back and forth banter that I think is fun for the customers. It helps disarm anybody that comes in sort of uneasy about the shopping for a car audio system process, which can definitely be overwhelming. People come in and they're immediately comfortable. And that helps a lot in the sales process. Alex spends a little bit more time behind the scenes as the store manager. She has duties to fulfill in the office, but she's on the floor with us quite a bit for sure, catching calls, helping customers, She is the absolute queen of customer service voice. If you've ever called Alex and you get that,
"Thank you for calling Speakerbox. This is Alex. How may I help you?"
just know that's not really how she is. If you meet her in Vegas, you'll see that after she has a few drinks. Don't tell her I told you that. Alex has helped mold me into a sales professional in person, on the phone, via email, or through our messaging system that we have to communicate with customers. Alex showed me early on that every customer that walks in the door or calls is an opportunity to form a relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be a friendship that carries on outside of work. When any customer calls Speakerbox, I have to let them know early on that they're speaking with somebody that knows what they're talking about and somebody that has their best interests at heart. I've learned that encouraging customers to go do their own research and make the decision that's best for them, even if it's not with us, really seems to win their confidence that I'm not just here to upsell them some radio that's got a bunch of features they don't need, or speakers that can blow them out of the car when that's not what they're looking for. Those are the little things that I apply toward every individual that walks in this door or calls on the phone or sends us an email or inquiry through the website. Every one of those is a chance to earn the customer's trust, show them that we're here to help, not just here to sell them something that they don't need. Of course, the guys in the back, Isaac, Wes, Rylan, and Adam, are our technicians. Those guys have helped me understand a lot of things about the technical side and the install side that, of course, I knew nothing about when I came in. They've been super patient, been very understanding and encouraging, and I think they feel like now that I'm past the learning the basics phase, and we can really get down to details about things that I can relate to customers as opportunities to, let's add some LEDs to an install, or let's do 3-ways instead of just components. Little opportunities that I see in this particular vehicle, or that this I can tell by this particular customer's wording that they're looking for something beyond the ordinary, and I know my guys can deliver that because they're great at their job. They're very good at what they do, and if I sell it to my customer, they can deliver. Those guys have helped me learn how to sell things a certain way, products that need to be sold together to get the most out of each product, to ensure that the customer is not just happy, but just overjoyed. That's one thing that everybody here always strives for. I don't want to say under promise and over deliver. We don't try to downplay what we do by any means, but we love when a customer picks up and they're just blown away by the little things that show we go above and beyond. And those are the things that set us apart from the other shops local to us. Of course, I absolutely have to mention Grant, the owner of Speakerbox, who took a chance on a almost 40-year-old guy at the time who knew absolutely nothing about car audio. He took my word when I told him I'm a fast learner and I try my best. I hope I've proven that to him. I made top 5 in Rookie of the Year, even at my age, with all the salt in my pepper. Grant's leadership is very nurturing, very kind, always seeking to teach, not reprimand, which is very helpful even at my age. And I've got pretty thick skin. I can handle, being yelled at or whatever. Nobody here has ever raised their voice at me or anybody else. I've never heard an argument within these 4 walls. And I feel like that comes down from the top. He does an amazing job of guiding all of us to where we need to be. And that's what it takes to make a small, relatively small shop like this run the way this one does. And I'm just proud to be a part of Grant's team. Outside of Speakerbox, I have a few people I definitely would like to mention as far as influences. Number 1 on that list is Rob Kowach from Perfectionist. He's our 2022 Sales Pro of the Year, and not only did he nominate me for Rookie of the Year, despite having his own Rookie of the Year candidate on staff at Perfectionist, he also checks in with me on a regular basis, usually at least once or twice a week, to make sure I'm good, make sure I'm taking this seriously, and to offer words of encouragement and guidance. Coming from the literal best guy in the industry, at least for 2022. That's kind of a big deal, and it really means a lot to me. He has been instrumental in getting me to where I'm at and motivating me to pursue this award. As far as guys throughout the industry that I try to keep an eye on just to see how they do things and try to learn from their methods, Jason Cook, Elias Venturis, Marty Adamscheck, Matt Schaefer, Adam Devine, Gary Bell. I listen to Matt Schaefer and Gary Bell's podcast all the time. I'm not caught up yet, but I'm trying to get through the Andy Waymeyer episode right now. That one, if you've not heard it, is over 3 hours long. But I've already shared several of the little nuggets that I've picked up from that episode and many others here with my guys at the shop. Ken Ward, who always takes time to help us when we have issues with tuning or technical side of an install. I could go on all day, and I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings. I'm certainly not trying to leave anybody out. I only have so much time to talk to the camera. But those would be my main influences in this industry. A typical day in the life here at Speakerbox starts at 8:40, 8:45. We have a morning meeting. We go over the day's schedule. We kind of discuss the jobs so everybody's on board with what we're going to be looking at for the day. At 9 o'clock, we open the doors. Very rarely does a day come that we don't have customers outside waiting to come in, either to drop off with us for the day or to come in and shop. The morning it's a morning rush. It's not that bad, but that's usually from 9 to 9:30. We look at the schedule again up front just to see if anything's going to change, make sure everybody showed up. If anybody didn't show up, we go ahead and reach out to them and find out if they want to reschedule or if they're just running late. Usually through the middle part of the day, it's just phone calls and foot traffic. And between customers, we're reaching out to order product. We pull product to stage for orders for upcoming weeks. Typically, through the middle part of the day, at some point, we will DoorDash something to eat. We'll kind of scarf between customers and phone calls. And then around 3 or 4, we look back at the schedule to see if any customers need to be called to notify that their vehicle's ready, make sure nobody's staying overnight. And then to close out the day, we make sure everybody's picked up, make sure any vehicles that are staying overnight are in the shop secured for the evening. Around closing time, we'll go back and sort of recap the day. Any deposits that we took, obviously we will make sure those orders are pulled. The product we have here is pulled. Anything that needs to be ordered has been put to special order so Alex can get that on the way for us. Then the last thing we do, of course, is sweep, vacuum. We wipe the fingerprints off the displays. We wipe down the countertops, make sure the trash is taken out. And that's basically a day in the life of Speakerbox Car Audio. As far as personal and professional growth, I feel like my biggest personal growth within the company and within the industry is that I'm not scared anymore. I used to walk in the door not scared to be here, but just scared of what I was going to be facing with questions from customers and vehicles and products that I didn't know anything about. Every day now is kind of an adventure. I know that sounds super cliche, but I really mean that. Every day is an opportunity to learn. Every day is an opportunity to prove myself. And every day is an opportunity to set Speakerbox apart from our competition. And I love that. That's my personal growth. Professionally, I feel like I hold my own. I mentioned that earlier. Taylor and I have about 50-50 sales month to month. That tells me I'm not dead weight, that I'm holding my own and contributing instead of feeling like an anchor, basically, which is kind of how I felt at the beginning. And of course, that leads into the big question. Why do I feel like I deserve to be Rookie of the Year? I talked with Rob about how to answer this question because I wasn't sure that I did deserve to be Rookie of the Year. He reassured me that I do, in fact, deserve to be in this conversation, that I wouldn't be where I'm at as far as in the top 5 if at least some other people didn't also agree. I know my competition. I know they are at some big name shops in some big markets. That's going to be tough to compete with as a small shop in a small market. So I have worked over the last year to put myself out there, to get my face in these groups and in these conversations in the 12-volt Sales Pro calls that Tony has every other week to learn. I am driven, I am motivated, I'm hungry. I want to know more about everything in this industry. And I eventually want to be Sales Pro of the Year. Rookie's going to be, awesome if I win it. Being in the top 5 is a huge accomplishment that I'm very proud of. But my goals are a little bit bigger than this. I want to be Sales Pro of the Year, or at least in that conversation. I want to be where Rob is. I want to be where Jason Cook and Elias are. I want to be on that level. And I feel like to get there, I've got to start with a strong Rookie of the Year campaign. And that's where I'm at. I feel like I've learned as much as anybody could have learned in the time frame that I've been in this industry. I'm eager to learn more. That's, at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, is education and training. And that's where I'm at. I'm already ready for Knowledge Fest, not for the award ceremony, but because I'm ready to get in those classes and learn. I feel like I have what it takes to take myself and Speaker Box to a whole new level, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push this company to where it needs to be in all these discussions about the best shops in the business. I want to push Speaker Box to a whole new level, to the point where we are a destination for car audio customers, not just here in North Alabama. I want people bringing us cars from Atlanta and Nashville and Dallas. I want them to come into us because we are that good. That's what I see for us in 5 years. And in order to get there, we've got to step our game up, and I'm going to make sure that happens.
What's up, everybody? Alex Laughlin here, professional race car driver, and to whom it may concern, I'm a friend of Taco, the Taco, Jeremy Taco Patterson, and I heard that he's up for Rookie of the Year, and that's kind of a big deal. My friendship with Taco has lasted, I think we've known each other for going on 10 years now. One of the most solid dudes on the planet. I have no idea what this could do for him, but I know it's going to be good, and I can promise you he is fully deserving of it. So give him your vote. He's got mine.
Hey, this is Andy. I just want to give a shout out to Taco and the guys over at Speaker Box. I was really, really impressed and with the sound install that they did. I went in there, I was working with Taco, and I want to do something really special here. I want to do something really audiophile. I like a lot of bass like everybody, but I wanted something that was super clean, just really high fidelity system. And so I said, I don't want to say money is no object, but it's like not really an object. I really want to do this right. And so they took that, and we kind of did it. I was just really happy with the designs they came up with. Really, really subtle. I actually didn't see a lot of it along the way, just because I trusted these guys to do it right. But when I saw it, I was absolutely blown away. We put in some custom columns in the front with all Focal Utopia speakers. Really did what I told them. I really wanted something very subtle, so it's very clean and almost looks factory. But when I want to bling it out, I can take off the top and the trunk, LED show, and it sounds absolutely fantastic. Really pleased with the work. They picked out a great system, really great to work with the whole way through. Would highly recommend working with Taco. In fact, I did my daughter's car. I'm about to get another car and do it with him too. So talk to you guys soon.